Hi, guys. Welcome to a very special edition of Here to Help You. Now, as you can see, Simone, Jennifer Smith, and Dave the Don Rankin are not here today as they are MIA. They have traveled to Baltimore, Maryland, but they'll be back as of next week during regular scheduled hours on Tuesday at 5 p.m. But with that being said, we have some sad news. Dave's father passed away early Monday morning. So Dave, if you're watching this, we send out our condolences, we send out our prayers, and we're hoping that you feel better, you and your family. Stay strong during this tough time. So we're just sending out your prayers for you. But I know Dave would want us to continue on the show, so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to continue on the show, and hopefully we're going to do a good job, don't you think?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Brittney Channer. Now, you see me on the show a couple of times talking about the law, talking about knowing your rights, but we're going to do something a bit different, out of my element, but you know, it's always good to bring up insightful conversation. But with that being said, I'd like to introduce my special co-host for today. I'm not even going to introduce him. He's going to introduce himself, and he's going to probably let you guys know who he is, what he does, and the value that he adds to the community. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. So who are you, my friend? Tell Toronto. Tell them.
Hey, guys. My name is Dwayne Daley, but a lot of people know me as Bruce Dwayne. I'm currently an inspiring hip-hop artist for the city.
Big up yourself, Dwayne.
Okay, you know, I'm trying to make a little bit of moves.
You know,
so
he's doing a 1-2.
Hopefully I get somewhere, you know, so.
That's good.
And
that's very
I also
good.
have a gaming channel, and yeah, and I do vlogs.
Very good. What type of vlogs do you like to do?
Vlogs, social event vlogs, you know, so when we went out to
The Emancipation Day.
Yes,
the Emancipation Ride.
I do stuff, I vlog that out, and also at the end of this month there's going to be a fan expo. So things like comic books, stuff like that. I'll be going out. I'll be vlogging that as well.
Ooh, that's amazing. So all our comic nerds, I should call them. Comic nerds?
No, let's not call them nerds. We don't have to do all that, all right? So,
well, you always hear them. Well, you're not nerds, but you guys are very, very passionate when it comes to comics and all the characters. I see all the, costumes every year. Yeah. So I'm glad that you're going to be doing that. But today we have a very special show. Like I said, it's different, it's out of our element, but I think it definitely needs to be talked about. And we're going to be talking about relationships and dating in 2017. Ooh, interesting, don't you think?
I'm not really a relationship expert, so I wouldn't know. So, but I've dabbled in relationships, I guess. So.
Dabbled? Really?
Yeah, is that the right word I use?
I don't even know. I've never heard anybody use dabbled. Simone, have you used dabbled? She's probably answering right now. Like, yes, I've used dabbled.
We don't really want to hear from Simone.
Yeah, we really don't need to hear. We're taking over the show. She'll probably learn how to spell it too. Dabbled. And probably put in a sentence. But anyways, for me, I'm not really a expert in relationships, but I think you become an expert in what you've been through. Yeah. So I think everybody is an expert in their own way.
Yeah, well, expert off experience, I
exactly.
guess, right?
Even if it's small experience or a lot of experience, you become your own expert and what you bring to the table, and your experience basically allows you to give feedback or information to those who don't have that experience. So what do you think about dating in 2017? Like, do you find it hard? Do you find it difficult? Like, let's not go too deep into the topic, but let's just give them a little taste.
Do I find it hard and difficult?
Like, what do you think
about? For me personally, yes. I don't, because I don't really date. I don't really go on a lot of dates.
Yeah.
I haven't really been in many relationships.
Yeah.
But off of what my friends were telling me, as I heard. Yeah.
What's the common, consensus when it comes to dating in Toronto? Like,
I don't know. Like, well, my experience with talking to people in Toronto, like a lot of people, the women don't really like a lot of guys in Toronto. People like women,
I hear that.
Women like to go outside of the city to go for relationships and to find someone they.
I think for most of my friends, I think the common issue is that, They don't know. They're always doing some type of foolishness, or there's always some type of...
Who, the women or the guys?
The guys.
The guys?
Yes, I always hear that the guys are always on some type of foolishness that they don't really have their mind straight. They don't know what they want.
I don't know.
Or they want to dibble dabble.
I'm part of the wholesome crew where the men that I talk to, remember the key word there, men. The men that I
Absolutely.
know, we like to
nice wholesome girls.
Wholesome girls. We like to take care of home. We like to respect women. We like to
oh my God.
wine and dine them.
Really? Wine and dine? Okay.
Little wine and dine, little Burger King here and there.
Wow, Burger King? Okay.
Burger
Guys,
King?
I just want to let you know, do not take your significant other or date to Burger King. You will not get a second date.
Burger King's kind of pricey.
You will not get a second date.
On a
Burger
Tuesday,
King. Oh my gosh, you will not get a second date. Like at least, like I'm not saying Red Lobster, but at least maybe Pickle Barrel or like a nice little restaurant.
Or order herself a salad.
Or some wings, like, listen, or some chicken wings or French fries, like, where there's at least, or a bar where you can grab a drink, you don't feel as clustered.
Is the drink refillable?
Oh my
Refills
gosh.
free?
Wow. Remember, this is not looking good for you, my dude.
It's all jokes. It's all jokes.
Yes, it's just jokes, but definitely, yes.
Well, my opinion about dating outside of relationships, with dating, I feel like, I think most people are kind of caught up on what you're doing, but I think it's more so it's the vibe, it's the energy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You go out with people because you want to get to know them, you want to feel their energy, you want to feel their presence. You're not really going out on dates with them for, like, oh yeah, I can spend a bunch of money on you for a date, and then we go to a nice restaurant, eat here, or like things where you can't really be social and like feel people's vibe or energy.
Yeah.
Like things like movies. Movies are terrible dates.
You think so?
They're terrible dates. Like, well, I think what if it has to be a movie followed by something. You know what I'm saying?
So like a dinner and a movie.
Yeah. Or you can do like go to the movie and have like an outing. Like if it's like midday, you go to the movies. You probably might go out to, I don't know. You walk as long as you can be social.
Yeah.
Throughout the
That's
date.
true.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be social during a movie.
I know. And I feel like movies, sometimes I've heard from friends that movies kind of imply, I don't know, just the wrong type of way of thinking,
That's why we have Netflix. Now it used to be...
Hold the chill.
It used to be movies and chill. Because that's where you would take, go out to the movies.
Put your arm around her. And,
just, feel the vibe a little bit. Then, after...
But now
it's like, it's a lot easier. Man don't even have to leave their home.
I know. So that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But you know what? With my experience of dating in 2017, I just feel like, I don't know. Like I've talked to my friends and just talk about the whole aspect of dating in Toronto or dating in general, and it's just a lot of women are just frustrated that we have to talk about certain things. Like especially when you're at an adult age, right? You think that you should know certain things and you should be aware of how to treat people, and the fact that I think the common or the consensus that I hear is that, he paid for dinner and expected something from me, or, here, that's a funny quote right here, my thoughts while online dating, oh my God, I'm going to be single my entire life. Because you realize that certain people don't really think the way that you think, and, it's and that can be a good thing sometimes, but in the aspect of dating, it's just like, do you really feel that way? Do you really think talking to me this way is going to give you a positive response or give you what you want? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, for example, I know when I'm walking down the street, a person who will like pissed at me, like I will not pay them light of day, right? And my whole mentality is like, does that really work for you? Do you really think you can get my attention, right? By pissing at me, not even like waving me down, like, hey, can I get your name? Like, how are you? A conversation. And the funny thing is, I will talk to the individual I'm not even interested in, right? If they just called me down and said, hey, what's your name? Then like a psst. girls, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you hear the psst. You avoid it like the plague. Every girl, I don't care what anybody says, every girl knows that sound. And when you hear it, you run. Okay? Everybody. And you're looking kind of guilty too. Like you psst a couple of times.
I don't psst.
You're not one of those?
Listen.
He's not one of those.
I'm not leaking any air out of my tires.
Or you probably has a friend who does that.
No, I'm not. As I said, I'm part of the wholesome family of people and friends, okay? So I know my people on Twitter, they call themselves the wholesome Twitter crew. So it's like, we're wholesome people, the faithful black man.
Very nice.
The guys who out here want to celebrate our queens.
Yeah, I love to hear that, especially when you hear a lot of women saying, there's no black men left. There's none of them are left. They're all, and I think a lot of it has to do with the media and culture, which we're definitely going to get into, and how that plays a part in how difficult dating is. But you definitely hear about, there's no more men left. Where have all the men gone? Why is it so difficult to date in the city? Why is it so difficult to get married? Or marriage, that's another topic. But you hear the same complaints over and over again. And I feel like with the progression of years, or as years pass, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like, we need to find out what's going on. Why is it so difficult? You know what I mean?
How long do we have? Because we could be here all day talking about this. Long time talking about
this. But we're not even gonna get into too much detail. But we're definitely gonna discuss a lot of factors, right? A lot of factors that I think have an effect on dating in Toronto, or just dating in general. We have right. We have social media. That can definitely play a part. We have culture. You know what I mean? Cultures are different. People come from different cultures. So what works in mine can be different in somebody else's culture or your culture, right? We have a lot of things to talk about, and I think in order for us to really dissect this issue, I think we need to identify these roadblocks, these obstacles that's making it hard for men and women to date successfully in Toronto. So with that being said, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna get into more. So see you soon.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back, guys. I was just talking to Dwayne about the psst, and I was actually talking to Chelsea, and Chelsea, she was saying, yes, she knows all about the psst, right? And Dwayne tried to tell me that.
Wait, women, psst, guys.
What
too.
women,
Listen,
though?
Caravana just passed. A few girls grabbed my body on the road. All right, so let's talk about the disrespect. And I was being sexually assaulted.
No, harassed. Really?
I was assaulted. I tried to escape, but there was no room. There's too much people on the road.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? I'll give you that. With men, there's also the women who do that, but I've never heard of it. So thank you for letting me know.
Caravana is a scary place. Right?
Yeah, everything can happen on Caravana weekend. Anything goes. All right, but we're going to get into our second top. It's our subsection, but we're still sticking to the topic of relationships and dating in 2017. So we want to know, and feel free to comment as you are watching this, right? But we want to know, how does online media, social media, play a part in the difficulty of dating? You know, there's dating services. There's, you know, with the implementation of Facebook, Twitter, POF, and I've heard disaster stories of POF. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been on POF and Tinder, but I quickly came off of POF and Tinder because, I mean, it's just weird. But that's just my experience with it. But we hear about all these dating sites and, you know, all these different forms of social media. And I want to know, like, how they've created, how they've made it so difficult to date in 2017.
Well,
you know what I mean?
One I'm going to mention, stay away from those apps or sites that kind of focus on dating, because majority of people who are on there are not trying to date. They're trying to hook up. You know, they're trying to get their quick fix, and then...
But even eHarmony, though, like, you see the commercials.
Okay. Like, those ones that actually specialize, where people are actually, like, putting specifics, and there's actual detail into what you do, where you're going, all that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, stuff like POF, stay off of that. Yeah. Things like Tinder, stay off of that.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't really judge a person based off of swipe. It's very superficial. Yeah. You swipe to the left if you don't like them, and you swipe to the right if you like them. I'm not sure. Yes, I kind of do know. Yes, I've been on Tinder, but it seems very superficial, and I think with the implementation of, like, Tinder and the whole swiping notion, I think it definitely has the whole, you know, do you like me for my looks? So people are accepting you or just want to talk to you based on what they see instead of what they hear. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What's that word I'm looking for?
Which one?
People are very...
Superficial?
Or, people
conceited?
Are superficial. Because, like, yeah, most people... Because
people like their ego stroked.
You know what? No, everybody's superficial. I don't care what... Everyone's superficial. Because you're attracted to someone off of physical first before you even get to know who they are as a person. So it's like, yes, that person's physically attractive, no matter what it is about them that you're attracted to. Yeah. That's the first thing you're looking at. Yeah. But it's like, even though, like, there's people out there that may be friends with somebody who they may physically not be attracted to, but it's like, over time, you build a relationship, you speak, you talk. Yeah. And again, when you guys go out on dates.
That's true.
You guys go out on dates, you go out, and you're like, you know what? I actually like this person. I feel their vibe. I like their... What they they're goal oriented. They have plans for the future. They have things going on for themselves. Absolutely. So, like, that kind of works out for them as well. But, like, majority of people are superficial. Like, you'll see somebody and be like, okay, yeah, this person's physically attracted. I want something from you. Yeah. And then you can, because I've met people, and I know guys who have met people who, like, oh, this girl's beautiful.
Yeah, but they offer no substance.
Like, none at all. Like, you'd sit there and talk like 5 minutes. It's like, whoa. like do you have sense? Like, sometimes I really have no sense at all. Right? Like, it's like you waste like you make like a whole day probably just texting and talking. You waste a dinner. And it's like, you know, it's like a waste of time sometimes. Yeah. And like, I know for a fact a lot of women deal with that with guys too, because a lot of guys have no sense. So I'm not gonna even like.
And I like that you admit that. I want you to listen to Dwayne right now. A lot of guys do not have sense. I want to thank you.
Girl power. All right. So
I want to thank you for that. But you know what? I'll do the same. A lot of gal have no sense. I'm sorry, but like, you guys need to like read a book or. But anyways, yes, I just feel that it's rough, and especially for those individuals who really care about finding, you know, a match or finding someone for them or looking to date. Yeah. You know, it's hard when you're being faced with an individual, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you're faced with an individual who doesn't really see the same way as you, and they just want you for a certain how you look. And thank you Chelsea for putting this quote up. It says, "We are forgetting how to communicate. Adults are letting social media ruin their relationships. Talk to your partner and stop letting inboxes, likes, and retweets ruin what you're trying to build." Yeah. So I think with that quote goes to show you how social media has affected, you know, the relationship and makes it so difficult. Because let's say you get in a relationship, you mean to tell me your girl's gonna worry about who's liking your picture, who's commenting on your picture, or who's that? I don't know her.
That's more sort of insecurities.
That's an insecurity. But the funny thing is, remember, 50 years ago, our parents, our uncles, our aunties didn't have Instagram and Twitter. What they had was them.
Hey, listen, they're still insecure. Like,
oh, definitely.
Think about it. Back in the 60s, when man didn't have phones, like, if my girl went out to somewhere and she's gone for like 2 days, I'm gonna say, wait, hold on. Where is she going for 2 days? Why was she not here the night before?
That's true.
And you can't call her. So it's like...
But think about it this. You're dealing with, in this year, 2017, you're dealing with that. Because that still happens. Yeah. And social media. So if a girl comments under your photo and then your girlfriend says, who's that girl? I don't know her. Why is she commenting under your picture? What did you do with her? And that just creates unneeded stress, like you said, there's a lot of insecurity, but social media creates that insecurity.
I can't say social media creates. I can't agree with that. I can't.
Really? I feel like social media you can be insecure, but I feel like social media has increased this insecurity.
No, because everybody.
What?
And like I feel, again, social media is more so for attention.
Yes.
Everything's about attention. So.
But if I have to see the intention, now not me because I don't care, but if a girl who's not secure in herself has to see the attention that her man is getting and she's not secure in herself and in the relationship, that can do more harm. You see what I'm saying?
But that's where people have to understand. I think it's just those people who can't separate real life from social media or the internet. I think those are the people who actually kind of have problems.
Okay.
Because like I don't know if I'm gonna end up going on a tangent, but like so like social media.
Go ahead now.
I can also even say like social media can actually really it helps kind of these days with relationships because you can find people on social media.
Absolutely.
You can find people on Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff, right? Even IG. But it's like, again, that's just a platform. Like a lot of these things are platforms. You see somebody you may find attractive, and then it could lead to something. Right? But it's like it can't just stay on social media. It can't just always be a social media thing, and social media shouldn't be. So social media should not control how your interactions with people are.
And I think that's the problem. It stays there. People meet on these social websites and it just stays there. Yeah. It doesn't come off of it. And I think the idea of these social media platforms is to create but not to build off of it. You know what I mean? So I think that's where the difficulties, stream from. And
so I would say social media, people who do, like, even with dating or even relationship, people use social media to kind of, like, hype.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
definitely.
I'm with this girl. Take a whole. Actually, no, guys don't really do that. So I'm not gonna say nothing. So girls would be like, okay, I have this guy. I'm in a relationship. Take a whole bunch of pictures with him.
Yeah.
Post it, and then let's say things don't work out a week or two later, and it's like all those pictures come down.
I've noticed girls do that too.
Yeah.
Girls do that too. You can always see when the good times are going well and when there's bad times, because you see all these, oh, I love my bae, I love my boo, and then you check the next week, they're gone. They're gone, and then you see all the anti-relationship quotes go up. It's hilarious. For example, there's a quote, "Hi, I exist." It's funny. This is hilarious because it goes in more than one way. Hi, I exist in the sense that social media has taken over your life, that you totally forget about the spouse, your significant other that's right in front of you. You have to build, right? But then that also goes with the petty posts that girls will post up on Instagram when they're going through problems. Oh, if a man loves you, he'll show you. I always know, I laugh. I'm like, her man broke up with her. She's beefing with her man.
There's like, there's these funny jokes people always make on Twitter about like things about like, you know those days where people would like, actually now people do it because people will post like on Twitter, even Facebook, people will post like a post, they're saying like LOL, but it's like L with like 10,000 O's and one L.
Yes.
And people would make jokes like, it's okay, sis. It's okay, sis. Leave him. You don't need him, sis.
Right?
Leave him. But honestly, it's like you could tell there's a lot of hurt in that LOL. Like it's like.
Why did you add 4 O's? Her joke wasn't that funny. Like, stop fronting. It wasn't that funny. You don't laugh at my jokes like that. Well, and that's how the problem starts. Let's be real. That's how the problem starts, right? A lot of it had to do with social media. And, briefly, we'll touch on the implementation of catfish. Like, I don't know if that's a thing still going on, with the MTV show Catfish. You can't get catfish now in 2017. You get catfish in 2017.
That's
your fault.
You're a loser. You're a loser. There's too many things. Like, you have FaceTime, Skype.
Yes, voice notes.
Facebook, Twitter. all those things, they have video, like they video chat, So it's like, if you don't video chat someone off of like, oh, yo, they look pretty, and you message them, in the first week you don't video chat them, it's like, and you're like, yo, next month you're going out with them, and it's like, yo, wait, hold on, you don't look like that person. That's your bad. Like, you made that choice.
Honestly, let's be real, guys. If we're gonna take it to a legal standpoint, get your evidence. We talked about this. I told you how important evidence was. You need to listen. Evidence with relationships. So you guys shouldn't be getting catfished. Not in 2017. But I understand it happens, and that definitely adds to the difficulties with dating. And that's kind of scares people. It scares people from dating. I've heard people like say, I'm not going to date or using online services of any sort because I'm scared that I may fall for an individual, right? I may fall for an individual and they may not turn out to be who they are, you know? So that scares a lot of people from dating, period, right? So...
like, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm just going to say this. So, yeah, people lie. You don't even have to be catfish. You can be with somebody for like
10 years and realize they were lying to you your entire life. Yeah. But we got more to talk about on this interesting show. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, all right?
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV Network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're having meaningful discussion here, eh?
It's very meaningful.
It's awesome, and we're learning a lot about relationships. But like I said, there's a lot of obstacles to dating in Toronto. I've heard people say, I hate dating in Toronto. I need to leave the country, or I need to leave the city so I can make sure I have more to deal with. I don't want to be within my bubble, right?
I feel that's an excuse. I don't know. I feel like people make excuses. Like, there's a lot of people here. Like, I can't say, like, if I have an issue, I can't be like, oh, I felt like that before. Where I'm just like, yo, there's where I leave the city, and I'm just like, yo, girls outside the city kind of are feeling me a lot more. But then I'm kind of understanding that people really just want to. It's a hookup thing. They realize it's more of a thing where it's like, oh, you're not like a bunch of these people in the city, and you don't know these people, so people won't talk about me.
But that's the thing, because Toronto, as big as the city is, it's small. Yeah. And the thing is, the main complaint that I hear is that, like, okay, you go out with an individual, or you go out with a girl, and you realize her way of thinking is not similar to yours, right? So you just leave her hanging, not leave her hanging, but you just let her go. But then you go out with another girl, and it's the same line of thinking, and you go out with another girl, same line of thinking. It's hook up. You don't see longevity. You don't see the amazing qualities that they have. It's just all the same. And I remember complaining about this to Simone, that why is that most of the guys just have the same thinking? It's just, I'm living in a hookup culture, right? And it's just that, like, it's hard to come out of that culture when every guy or that you experience, or every guy that you come in contact with, has the same line of thinking. So it could definitely be frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Which brings us into our next, little segment about, why don't people take dating serious? Now that's a question I want to know. Why don't we take it serious? Do you have any, I know people say, it's 2017, we have more options, culture, but I want to dig a little bit deeper in that. Let's start with culture. Like, how has culture made it so difficult, not only to date, but has added to why people don't take it seriously?
Personally, I would say this. You can always. I don't want to get too deep into this, but you have to get deep into it.
You have
to get deep into it. It's basically how you're kind of raised.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but even like if you're one of those people who are around, like as a kid, I'm not gonna sit here and admit that I was raised around a bunch of people who were in committed relationships for a long period of time, and like that kind of affects you. You know what I'm saying?
Does.
So it does affect you. So like you're gonna have other cultures who their parents been married for 30, 40 years, and I know I have a few black friends that their parents been married for 34 years, and they take relationships seriously. But then you find somebody who is not on that same wavelength. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's just like, as I said, I told you before, like relationships are microwave. Like everything nowadays in 2017, because of social media and internet, everything is quick, fast paced. You can text somebody and get to know somebody through text messages in like a week.
Yeah.
You know
where
what I'm saying?
You had to, back in like the 50s, you had to take them out and learn all that information.
And talk to them and get to know them. And it's like, so now like as something that people don't really take it seriously, it's like, again, options. Now we have more options. Back then you didn't really have a lot of options. You found somebody and you realize like, yo, this person actually really cares about me.
Yeah.
And yes, our grandparents, I would say, they've done a lot of dirt behind each other's back. But like at least they know if they found out, they would talk it out, settle it.
Yeah.
And then move on. You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of like now it's just like, again, you have more options. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you cheated on me? Bye. I don't have to deal with this piece.
And I think what you were like talking about has to do with this quote that's, you want to read it out? Like, I guess our parents...
I have bad eyes. I can't see that.
But, like, it's a quote that really is focusing on what you really, like, spoke about, what you're speaking about right now, in which I'm going to let you go into more detail. But it says, I guess our parents stayed together simply because they didn't have 7,000 other people following them or liking their pictures at their disposal, which goes into that social media thing. And when their marriage or relationship got hard. Nowadays, when our relationship hits the rocks, we just log on and get high off this false sense of security and appreciation. We value our worth based on comments and inbox messages filled with colorful words that have no depth. You know, meanwhile, the person who loves you when there's no filter on your face becomes an option, and the rest of the world who just sees your representative becomes priority. Don't lose what is real, chasing behind what only appears to be, right? So I think that's something about a lot in regards to your statement about culture. You know, they didn't have that, and I think, like you said, when ish hit the fan, you know, what happened was that they had to literally work it out. But like you said, because there's more options, a lot of people feel like, I don't need to deal with that. I can leave you because I can find another individual.
People are so fickle. Like, smallest things will turn you off from somebody, right? Yeah. It's like, wow, you didn't text me back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough for people to be like, I seen you tweeting. I seen you on Facebook.
So who is she?
You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff, like it triggers people real quick. Like,
it does.
You don't get a phone call after like 24 hours, people get so upset. You don't talk to somebody for 24 hours, they get upset, and it's like at the same time you need that space. You know what I'm saying? You can't speak to you every day. I can't speak to you all the time. I can't be around you all the time. So it's like certain things like that triggers people. But it's like our parents or grandparents, they figured like, yes, certain things they didn't like, you know that you can't change people, but it's like you always recognize the good qualities in people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
But like now it's like the bad qualities in people are not texting back at a reasonable time, and not making phone calls at a reasonable time, or liking a picture.
Absolutely.
It's like that kind of, that's just, again, it goes back to social media, kind of mess it up, but it kind of makes it more convenient to actually find somebody. But at the same time, social media kind of messes how people think.
Yeah, it's just, like, who made the rule that I have to call you back within 5 minutes of you calling me? Like, you know what I mean? It's just,
I did still, yo. You know, like,
blame Dwayne. But I think a lot of it, like I think what you said about culture and having more options definitely does play a part with the whole dating thing, and basically how you were raised as well. Because if I can give a bit you know, of a little bit of me, right? I think that's a cute quote right there. But but like if I can give some, you know, just a little tad bit of what I've been through is that like I was raised in a single parent household, but growing up I've always wanted the 30-year marriage. I knew that's something that like I aspired to. But the funny thing is, it's just like what makes dating so difficult for me is that like seeing my mom raise both of her children independently and so well, it made me, there's some certain qualities that I took off after her. So when I do certain things, I feel like I'm a very independent lady, right? Mm-hmm. So woman, but I'm a very independent woman, and there's a lot of things I like to do myself. And you know, there was a quote that I think it's that's gonna bring up shortly about being so independent that you don't even know how to date. You know what I mean? Like, I'll buy my own dinner, right? I think it's, people who have been single for too long are the hardest to love. They have become so used to being single, independent, and self-sufficient that it takes something extraordinary to convince them that they need you in your life. And that's not really like...
That's false, because I've been single for like forever.
But that I'm coming
and,
from...
and
my goodness.
I can't get in a relationship.
No,
so
but like for me...
I'm not saying I'm trying, but still.
I just feel like... I don't know. I just feel like seeing like... For me, being so independent, it's hard... It's hard for me to kind of let go of that, especially in the relationship. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. If a guy would take me out and I would want to pay for my meal and it has nothing to do with letting the man pay, but it's just that like, it's weird. It's so messed up, but it's like, I can pay for my meal. You don't have to pay for my meal, right? It's this this need for me to be independent. It's really hard to let go. So there's people who literally don't want to date because they're doing fine by themselves on their own, even though I do feel like everybody deserves love and everybody needs love. But it's a very hard thing. Like, people may laugh at it. Oh, independent, like that's so you're full of yourself, you know, that's a, you know what I mean? But I just feel like it's an actual issue. Like, when you're so independent of doing things on your own, why would you get somebody else why do you need help? Why would you obtain the help from others? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Right? So that's maybe a bit tricky in my dating life, right? So I just feel like, and it's absolutely true with the quote, like, it really takes somebody extraordinary to really, like, kind of whisk me off my feet. And maybe that's a horrible, horrible pressure that I'm putting onto the men themselves. But it's just that mentality. It's that culture. Like you said, everything plays a role into how you date. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's just how I think about it. Attention spans definitely has a lot to deal with dating and why people don't take it seriously. People don't want to pay attention to what you have to say. You know, I don't want to go on a date with you and I tell you. And when I talk to people, I bring a lot of passion because I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about what I believe, who I love. I'm very passionate. I want to express that to you. So if I feel I need to have to repeat myself over and over again, or we're just not clicking or vibing on the same wavelength, right? It's pretty much pointless, in my opinion, right? What do you think? You got a lot to say.
No, you're just long-winded. I'm sorry.
What? That's a diss thing.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm very difficult to talk to about stuff like this because, like, I'm a hard person to please. Like, going on dates, and cause I do have a lot to say. A lot of things you said kind of like resonate with me, but it's like, I don't have a lot of time. But it's like going on dates, getting to know people. It's like again, that's the whole point of dates. You get to know people on dates, and a lot of people that's when people will figure out if they want to take you seriously or not.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever you figure out through that person, like if a woman will be like, okay, this guy women are very more lenient. Guys, it's like you can say something kind of foolish and they'll be like, I don't really want to take this girl seriously anymore. And like,
exactly. I think it has a lot to do with also, you know, that physical thing. Most people go on dates and they just want physical. They'll take you out, but anyways, after this break, we're gonna talk about our personal experiences. See you soon.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back, guys. Oh my goodness. So during the break, we were just talking a little bit more with Chelsea, and we're talking about just the whole independent notion and how, you know, most guys, they kind of feel the vibe, where us women, we're just trying to think 5 years from now. I'm not even going to lie. I try to do that, and that's a flaw, and I should stop doing that. But I think there's a mix between me. Like, sometimes I do think about 5 years ahead, but then I think about the vibe that you're giving me. If we can vibe, if we're talking about, you know, mentally stimulating topics, I'm about that too, right? But sometimes you get left disappointed when you're thinking about 5 years from now and it doesn't even last 5 days, right? So that's something that we should be aware of. But as we come to a close, I would like to know your personal, you know, not really preferences, but your views as dating and as a black man in Toronto. Like, do you find it difficult? Do you really find it difficult?
I gotta be honest, or can I make jokes?
Run
about
that.
Run
that. I want you to be honest.
Okay, so
I want you to be honest.
Dating as a black man in Toronto, again, it's with options. It's not that. How can I answer this? I want.
Do you want some time to think, and I'll tell you about my.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I'm trying to avoid being PC, but
Dwayne's about to throw it down. So, you know, I feel like dating as a black woman in Toronto, I can't speak for all women in Toronto.
Take it easy on the black man. Don't disrespect us.
I will never disrespect the black man. I love the black man.
All right.
I believe in the black man. Okay. All right, but as dating in Toronto, as for me, I find it difficult in the sense that, like, every day I'm mentally stimulating my mind and I'm doing things to learn more. Now, some of the guys who approach me on a physical level, and I understand that because men are physical. They like to see, right? I just wish they approach me on some mental type of connection, because that's where you'd get me. That's me personally. I feel like you said, dating is very microwavable, as you stated. It's quick, right? And we're living in a very hookup culture. So it's hard to find an individual who thinks the way that you do or wants the same things that you want, in regards to a relationship, in regards to elevating yourself, elevating both individuals. It's hard to find that one individual when their mind is totally different. And I would understand people would say, you know what, Brittney, that's just one guy. That's just another guy. That's just Toronto's so big. But like I said, when you're running into individuals over and over and over again who have the same type of mentality, you know, it can be very depressing. It can be very hard. And, you know, I've had a lot of friends say, well, Brittney, it's easy to point the finger, but what about you? Have you decided to take a look at yourself and maybe think about, maybe are you the problem? And the answer to that, I could simply say, is hell no. I'm just joking. But, like, I just feel that I did take a good look at myself.
As you should.
As I should. And maybe there's some, areas that I can definitely work on in regards to an example, that independent thing. Maybe you have to be a bit more vulnerable. But I think dating in Toronto is difficult for me on a mental level. Because, yes, you can attract me with your looks. I think most guys are very, very presentable. They're cute. They're handsome, But to me, that's just a little piece of the pie, right? Because I've had an individual who's stepped to me strictly mental, strictly asked me questions that had nothing to do with my physical features, had nothing to do with the way I look. It had everything to do about, what do you think about the way things are going in society? Like, what do you think about African history? Like, this is how he was addressing me. And the more and more I spoke and the more he spoke, to me, I was getting drawn because he had me here. So it's hard for me. I just find it difficult to find someone or date someone who gets me here. And that's just what I've been dealing with. I don't know about you. That's how I find it a bit difficult. I mean, obviously you'll run into the person that you need to run into at times, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Do you find it difficult? Do you find it not difficult? What do you think? What are your experiences?
My opinion is so different from a lot of people's because, like, I feel like, in my opinion, women are too quick.
Okay.
They want relationship right away.
Okay.
They want things to happen right away, and at the same time, the guys that I know, I'll speak for myself and my friends and people I'm around.
Yeah.
We want to build. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying women don't want to build, but I feel like a lot of women will talk to you because I know women understand what they want right away. Like, you see a guy, talk to a guy, you're like, okay, I want to be with this guy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, guys are not that quick to make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for a few weeks, you could talk to somebody, go on dates with somebody, and the guy's kind of probably still trying to feel it out. You know what I'm saying? And the woman's probably just like, yo, it's been a month. It's been a month. It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. Why aren't we have not made this official? And I know for a lot of guys, it's just like, yo, 3 months is not a lot of time to get to know somebody. You
I
know
agree.
What I'm saying? So it's
agree.
like, you need, sounds bad, but I feel like a 6 months, you might get the gist of somebody.
Yeah.
3 months, it's just like,
I'm learning your favorite color.
You can hide a lot of things in 3 months.
Absolutely.
People are very, like, you can hide a lot of things in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But, like, people are different with you in, like, the first couple of months. Because you realize when you go out with somebody, you go on dates with somebody, you kind of learn their mannerisms, how they act. It's, like, not even, like, how you guys interact, how they interact with the waitress.
Yes.
How they interact with people and strangers around you.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff you learn, just learning off of them and stuff like that. And going on dates, I would say me and my friends who gone on dates with women, it's like, you kind of sit there and you're like, okay, my friends will come back and be like, okay, yo, I went out with this girl. Yo, she was really rude. Like, she was nice. Like, she was nice and sweet, calm, and smart to me, but it's like
the way
how she interacted with, like, a stranger on the bus on the way here, or when we parked our car and we came in from the entrance and when they were supposed to seat us, like, she was really acting really snobbish with these people. And that kind of turns guys off, and it's like, yeah, she's cool and nice with me, but I want her to be cool and nice with everybody around. Because it's like, that energy that she has with people around her is the same energy that I'm going to kind of be putting off as well because I'm with her.
Exactly.
So people are going to be like, yo, this guy's around a girl who
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't have respect for people around her. She doesn't really interact with people well around her.
Yeah.
And you try to, like, cover that up by interacting, like, just as well. It's like, oh, don't worry, thank you. Say your please and thank yous. And you're very polite around with people because you have, like, you're raised different or whatever. But it's like, it's just like, I'm not saying all women are like, but it's like, it's even with men. Like, when women go on dates with men, like, they interact with people around them very differently than how they interact with that person. And it's like, again, that's the vibe, the energy. And it's like, you want to give off good, positive energy, not only to the person you're on a date with or in a relationship with, but also with people around you. Because it's like, you always want to have good vibes and good energy with people.
It makes it easier.
Like, so it's like, conversations flow, interactions flow, and you're more likable and approachable that way, right? So.
But I think, and I agree 100% with what you said, but I think people would be like, some women I've had as friends, they've told me, you know what, they're okay with waiting, but, you know, the man would definitely want something physical while they wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd say, okay, you know what, I'm not ready for a relationship, but, like, you know, we can be physical and we can be intimate while we wait and while I determine if you.
What's wrong with that? It's like, I don't see
but
the
like
issue.
that's the thing, because there's a lot of women who don't want to give up anything to the man, especially if he's still deciding whether he wants to be in a relationship with you or not. Some women think that's a waste. Caught him.
No,
Caught him.
But it I understand sex is kind of like of a ritual. It's a spiritual thing too, as well.
Absolutely.
So if you like someone and you're feeling someone, why not? Like, you're grown, you're an adult, make a decision.
Absolutely.
But at the same
it's
time,
gonna suck if you're making these decisions and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna have sex with him, or I'm gonna like be intimate with him, but you know what, I find out a month later that, you know, he doesn't want to be with me, and I invested a lot in him. Like, I really wanted to be with him, and he was just still making up his mind. Nobody wants to be. I don't feel like, for me, I wouldn't want to be with a guy while he's I wouldn't want to be intimate with a guy while he's just still making up his mind about me.
You don't want to waste your time. But it's like, again, but as I said, in the 3-month span,
yeah, you're just learning their favorite color.
You're basically feeling them out, getting to know them.
Absolutely.
6 months, that's a lot of time where you can say, you know what, I know this person well enough to actually commit to them. But I wouldn't, like, I
would give it a year. A
year is way too long.
What?
You might as well be in a relationship with us after a year. Like, what? I'm not talking to you for a year. And going on dates for a year just to say, you know, actually, a lot of guys do that.
Because they want to be sure.
You know what? No, a lot of guys might actually feel that. Because, like, a lot of guys like, yo, I'll go on a date with a girl for 6 years before I actually tell her I'm in a relationship. Guys, a lot of guys feel that way. Like, it's like, yo, because, again, you want to have your options open, you know. You can't, like, because, like, again, if you're in a 3-month span and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm committed, I'm locking it down, and then you're realizing she's she's not really that great of a person, and then there's other girls on the side who are kind of feeling a little bit better, and it's like, okay, now I'm kind of in a relationship and I can't just leave.
Exactly.
You know?
I understand. That's actually a very good point. But as we are coming to an end, Dwayne, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show, letting the people know who you are. And I want everybody to watch out for this young man to my right, okay? He's about to be making some serious moves. Do not sleep on this young man, because he is going to be hitting up Toronto like no other. You're about to do some serious damage. And thank you for coming on the show and giving me, and giving Toronto and all our viewers your perspective on dating. And thank you for having me to host this show for the first time.
Thank you, Simone and Dave, for giving us.
Big up yourself, the Don and the Donette. But we'll see you next week. Actually, Simone and Dave will see you next week. Take care.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah.